The Apartment Gurus podcast is brought to you by Greenlight Equity Group, an apartment acquisitions and holdings firm co-founded by Carl York and Tate Siemer, host of this show. We offer you the opportunity to be an owner of cash-flowing, wealth-growing apartments without the headaches of being a landlord. These assets are recession-resistant, risk-mitigated, offer significant tax advantages, and are a great alternative to the stock market. Ready to check it out? Go to www.investwithgreenlight.com today to book a personal consultation with Carl or Tate. Again, that's investwithgreenlight.com. We look forward to meeting you. Welcome to The Apartment Gurus, where twice a week, host Tate Siemer brings you deep dive interviews with the wisest gurus in the apartment investing industry. These experts are sure to create game-changing value and inspiration designed to catapult your business to the next level. Be sure to reach out to Tate at www.investwithgreenlight.com for access to his investor portal and Calendly link. And now, here is Tate Siemer and the Apartment Gurus.
Welcome, everybody, back. Another episode of the Apartment Gurus coming at you right now. Super excited. Got another Raise Masters buddy on the show today. Melvin Landry, Professor Melvin Landry. Melvin Landry is his legal name, given name, but all of his friends call him Merv, and I'm one of his friends. I'm just going to claim it right now. So how does that sit with you, Merv?
Perfect. Sounds good, man. Happy to be here.
All right. Well, welcome. I'm really glad to have you here. Yeah. I've explained what Raise Masters is on past shows. We've had other fellow capital raisers and real estate investors, commercial real estate investors on the show from Raise Masters, and it's just an amazing network of high level go-getters that are raising many millions of dollars for commercial real estate deals. So it's a very rich experience to be a part of it. And you guys, paid masterminds, I'm telling you, either paid mentorships or paid masterminds, ideally like a combination of the two. If you can find that, which you can with me, by the way. Multifamily Octane Coaching Mastermind is my group, and we're a small but very elite squad of investors. So if you're committed to this business and not just curious about it, we should talk about having you become a member of the multifamily Octane family, because there's some exciting stuff happening there. But so Merv, first of all, tell everybody where you're zooming in from. Where are you a professor?
So I'm zooming in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And I am a professor at a couple of institutions. So I teach in the Texas A&M system.
Oh, wow.
A&M Commerce, A&M Texarkana. I also teach adjunct Liberty University as well as Capella University.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
You're a busy guy.
It's a calling, man, to try to teach, help inspire, and help folks learn. And
you're a giver, man. You're a go-giver.
Yeah.
What do you teach? What subjects or subject?
Agricultural economics as well as macro and microecon. But
got it.
My claim to fame is ag econ. I've been teaching it for almost 20 years, and I've worked for a lot of food conglomerates over the years. So yeah.
Got it. Awesome. So talk about your real estate journey. How did that all, talk about the very beginning of it, your inspiration behind it, and take us up to today and where you are and what you're doing now.
Sure. So, real estate journey started in 2005. I started buying properties actually in 3 states when I first started. So it was a single family journey. I bought a single family home in Indianapolis. I bought a condo in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I was buying REOs in my own market where I live now, which is Pittsburgh. So started the journey.
How did that start? Because somebody that is in academia generally doesn't have the entrepreneurial mentality. I mean, I'm stereotyping huge here, right? But the academic mind is not necessarily wired like an entrepreneur and isn't thinking about starting a business or buying properties across the country. So what was the original inspiration there for you?
For me, it was always diversification. So,
okay.
I started teaching in like 2004. Always been in an adjunct capacity. So never worked full time for an institution, and nor was that my goal. My goal was always to work in adjunct capacity, looking for another stream of income and a way to give back.
Yep.
And it was a way for me to kind of get diversified. So, I was always working a corporate job, and teaching was sort of a add-on capacity. I've been doing it for a while, and diversifying, looking for other ways to get diversified. And for me, real estate was another avenue to build my net worth. I was thinking at the time, but it was kind of doing it lukewarm. I wasn't really had my foot on the gas. So
I
started buying properties, connecting with folks. Plugged into a group, a network. At the time, it was Brookview Financial. Went to a seminar, and hey, we can lend you 100% finance, and if you buy the deal right. So that was always the notion for me, was buying the deal right. So back then, I thought I could buy the deal right. So I bought a few right, bought a few that wasn't quite so right, and I learned the hard way. So bought in 3 different states. And while I started buying in 3 different states, I was buying more and more in Western PA at the time because it was so cheap.
Yeah.
So I was able to buy properties, 15, 20,000 REOs. They needed work. But, at the time I built a crew, right? And had a crew working, and, they would bring these properties up to speed. So, you fast forward to 2008, 2009, it was rough on a lot of people, me included.
Right.
So,
right.
Ended up short selling the condo in Scottsdale, Arizona. Ended up short selling the house in Indianapolis, PA. But those properties, those old colonial style houses in Pittsburgh that were cash flowing pretty well, I ended up doing well.
Good.
So I started growing and growing and growing. So I got bit by the bug, but luckily it didn't take me out. So, kind of fast forward, I sought out more mentoring in terms of how I can grow and how I can scale. And I decided that, this is going to kind of be my core market. Now, mind you, I'm living in the middle of the country at the time. So I'm not, I'm in Pittsburgh now. I've been living here 2 years.
Okay.
When I was growing, I was living in Omaha. I lived in Omaha 7 years. I lived in Colorado 3.5 years. I lived in Las Vegas. And Circle of Wealth took me back to kind of where it all started, which was Pittsburgh, ironically. But, I was buying properties, and I was kind of flying there once a quarter. Wasn't married at the time, and I was able kind of to build it. And just kept building, man. Kept building. And a little before you know it, $25,000, $30,000 a month of cash flow, of income coming in net. And I had owned most of my properties because I was getting them so cheap.
Right. So
from there, right, thanks to the ecosystem, I was paired with a mentor. My mentor to this day is in the Florida area. I'll give a shout out to Mike Big Lane. That is my single family real estate mentor. And he taught me some tips and tools and trades that I was able to really implement my business. And I grew, and I was growing exponentially, even though I had a full-time job and I was teaching as well. So it was going good, man. It's going real good. So it got to the point where I had over 60 properties.
Wow. All single family.
Well, single family duplexes, a triplex here, but mostly single family. Yeah. And, I had built a system, and it was all affordable housing. So anything program related, I was like, let's go, because I wasn't there, so it's hands-on management. I had a property management company who I was paying to help me out. So, but again, I wanted program rentals because I understood the process. I understood the processes, the housing authorities. Understood the process. A lot of paperwork, but it doesn't matter, right? You get it in, and you understand the process and tools. I was able to monetize pretty well off of that, and giving folks a real good place to live. So there were times where I would rent a house to a young lady. I'd end up renting to her sister, her aunt, her mom, her cousin. So folks saw that I was a landlord, even though I was out of state, but I took care of them. And when I got a text or when I got a request to the inbox for issues or whatever, you just, take care of it. Let's get it right. Dispatch my guys and kind of go from there. So I was hindsight asset managing from Omaha, Nebraska, as I was kind of managing my portfolio. It was working out pretty good.
Did you have a actual third party manager and you were asset managing them, or were you directly managing the properties?
Was kind of like a property manager, I guess. So it was a small little mom and pop shop who, that's kind of what they did. And I built a rapport with them. So they took on the majority of my property. So with folks, I built a relationship with my tenants. So they were, at times, I would get a text, saying, the old Google Voice number. I had a number for my tenants and I had my own number for me.
Yeah.
My personal number. So, they would reach out and I would just kind of dispatch, hey, I got this issue. Go ahead, take care of it. And worked out pretty good. Worked out pretty good at the time. So
got it. Okay, so you're at 60 doors. When is this roughly? What year?
Oh man, this is like 2011, 2012. I was buying everything I could.
So the market was still flat at that point as far as recovering from the crash. Like it really hadn't started recovering yet at that point. Properties were still very, very inexpensive. We were buying properties for, $80,000 to $170,000 in Salt Lake City, which those properties now are $250,000 to $600,000, right?
Doubles.
Yeah. And by the way, I just want to highlight your mentor, Mike, and the fact that his presence in your business and in your life alone is something that you can attribute your growth to. That to me just speaks volumes. And it comes back to a theme that we hit on a lot here, which is the value of mentorship. And guys, if you want to do this right, gals, if you want to do this right, in my opinion, and I'd be interested in Mervin, your thoughts on this, but I think you got to go with the best paid coach that you can find, or the best paid mastermind that's a great match for you. And there's some great ones out there, right? There's numerous coaches that are one-on-one. I do some one-on-one coaching. And then we have a group coaching mastermind. And then whether it's me and my group or, various others out there, getting into a situation where you are paying somebody good money to produce value in your business, and help you move your business from where you are now to where you want to be. Look, if you lock into the right one, they will shorten your timeline by years and years and years, and they'll help you avoid critical errors. And you're just going to be, you will 10x your investment in that coach or that mastermind in the first year, I promise, if not much more. So, so it sounds like for you, Merv, that Mike was just huge for you.
Yeah, and even to this day. So even as I've scaled and moved into multifamily and other alternative assets, he's a text away, he's an email away, and he always kind of gives me feedback and his perspective. And I appreciate that and I value that, because I've been very successful kind of following under his tutelage, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
All right, cool. So 2011, you're clean, you're buying and buying and buying. Take us from there to kind of 2023. I know that's a big gap to bridge, but
yeah. Well, I'll stop at 2014, 2015. So at that point, I had a lot of properties. Cash flow was going well. So in between that time frame, I met my spouse, who I'm married to today. Nice. We decided to enter into a franchise, a dessert franchise, and that dessert franchise ended up being one of the not so best decisions I've ever made. So,
okay.
In between that, right, we operated a franchise that we were living in Texas at the time. And, we ended up closing the franchise right before COVID. But in excess of that, we lost $1 million, right? So the model just did not work for us. Mm-hmm. In between that, right, when you close a store or a restaurant or the case may be, that kind of potentially could come with ramifications. So I was able, thank goodness I had real estate, right? Because I had to end up selling off 70 to 80% of the portfolio.
Okay. Wow.
Pay legal bills, avoid arbitration, deal with, the hurdles of it. And from that standpoint, so I had a back pocket out thanks to real estate, and that liquidated a good amount of my portfolio. Yeah. So, and in that, right, we kind of had to restart fresh and restart anew from that. So, mind you, between 2013 and 2019, I'm still just my foot's off the gas. I get a property here and there. I kind of got into a cruising altitude, right, at 60. that 60 really decreased in like less than half over, because I had to sell, and, legal expenses, they tend to go pretty high. So,
sure. Yeah.
I ended up selling off part of the portfolio, and it was a blessing to kind of be able to have that in the back pocket to kind of keep the ship running, et cetera. So, so from that standpoint, then I got the opportunity and decided to participate in a seminar in regards to multifamily. And that's when I really kind of started to ramp up on the multifamily front, mid 2021 into 2021, give or take.
So you went to a conference?
I did. I went to a conference /seminar, and my light bulb kind of went off. Was kind of fully rejuvenated, and like, man, I'm in a room, right, where other people are garnering results. Mm-hmm. And I knew previously that, I'd go on the results on the single family front. And for me, the decision wasn't hard. Like, it's time to scale. I teach econ. It's time to scale.
Sure.
Economies of scale. Let's go. So left up out of the seminar, fired up, and, really got the understanding of, for me, it was about lowering my tax bill, which was key. And kind of once I got educated on that, it's just like, look, passive investments, right? Invest versus, save. So the mindset changed even then. I got a kind of like a newfound revelation. Mm-hmm. And I just started passively investing in opportunities with folks that I got to know. So certain folks look for certain aspirations when they're kind of doing their investment philosophy. Everyone differs. For me, it's minimizing my tax bill any way possible I can. And I saw the benefits of kind of being a passive investor. So ramped up quick. Mm-hmm. Before you know it, we're in 2023. January 1, 2023, I'm in like 10 deals.
As an LP and all of them?
No, actually 9 as a LP. My GP opportunity came at the end of 2022.
Okay.
Thanks to Raise Masters.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, and, so from there, had to kind of put the systems in place and things of that nature. So, and that took about a year, right? Website, podcasts, right? Building your database, right? Participating in conferences, et cetera. So, we also made a decision. My wife used to work in corporate America. She no longer does it. She works full-time in the business.
Yeah, cool.
So we've kind of made a decision and kind of really get laser focus on, we're going to build it. We're going to build it right. We're going to build it being in the right groups, the right ecosystem, and continuously improving every day. So, it's been great to see. It's been great to see, right? So, a lot of the passive deals we're in, all but 2 are doing pretty darn good. Get a little cash flow, a little distribution there. Those K1s are beautiful. I love K1s.
Yeah, right.
Love K1s. So, and, in the beginning of 2023, jumped in on another co-sponsored opportunity from another ecosystem I was a part of. Mm-hmm. So got the chance to get in there, raise some capital, and continuously just kind of being a beast on social media. You got to be in order to be successful in business.
Yeah. So since you brought that up, let's mention all of your social media presence. So
sure.
So guys, look up Melvin Landry, Landry, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and also on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel that's at Moreland Equity Capital at Moreland Equity Capital is the name of the YouTube channel. So it sounds like you put a lot of time and energy into your social media presence, Merv.
Yeah, it's a must, man. Right now, right, we're building, right, we're passive now in almost 3,000 doors.
Wow.
We're active in 250, and another opportunity is kind of coming up. We have a podcast as well called Get Diversified. So we named it Get Diversified. Of course, I'm African American. My wife's Italian and Polish, so that's but as
that's cool. Yeah.
So
that's great.
Yeah, man. So it's it's been good, man. It's the foundation. We kind of took the tools and the tips and the trades, and it was in the room, get in the room to kind of learn and see what other people are doing, and it's worked out pretty well.
So I've got 2 questions. Number 1, how key was that conference that you went to? In other words, what would life look like right now if you had, for whatever reason, just decided to stay home that weekend?
Probably wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Yeah.
And my wife probably would still be working in corporate America, complaining about her job. So she doesn't have that anymore. She doesn't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have put my foot on the gas even more because I was now living in the market where I had garnered so much success. But we decided to kind of change things around, right? Given we're multifamily, we're ramping up. Okay. I work multiple jobs, that's fine, right? You have some folks who, I'm dying to leave my 9 to 5. Well, my 9 to 5 is in procurement. So I'm negotiating with vendors day in and day out, which is a trait of what you need when you're dealing with brokers, dealing with sellers. So, and job's flexible. So, and I get paid well. So no complaints there. Yeah. So, the skills are transferable in what I do on a day-to-day basis to kind of help to grow in real estate in every which way of the cadence, to say the least.
What's your schedule look like? I'm just curious for, somebody that is as busy as you are with the, 3 different institutions, it sounds like, that you teach for, how much do you have a pretty regular schedule? Do you put a pretty regular amount of time into real estate, or does it kind of vary?
I would say I put a pretty substantial amount of time into real estate, believe it or not, because I'm like you, right? We're looking for deals, right? We're emailing brokers and things of that nature. I'm working on my sleep cadence, right? At first, I wasn't getting much sleep. Yeah. Well, a typical day for me starts, 7 a.m., maybe checking in to see, everything's tied to my mobile. It's all university email I have, kind of plugs into my mobile. Students got questions. Is it quick ordeal away? Again, as I mentioned, it's just a system, right? So I have a Google Voice number, right? Learners, if they got inquiries, they want to text, can get back to them. And given as long as I've been teaching, I mean, I don't have to really invent the wheel anymore. Yeah. You do stuff for a couple of years, right? It just, the base is there. Just kind of have to kind of retool it, a few updates, and when you're dealing with learners. So, and, everything is remote, which is great. I don't have to go in the office, maybe some travel here and there. But, every chance I get, we try to balance. Specifically for me and my wife, we divide and conquer on everything. So rarely will you find us at the same conference together because we have an 8-year-old. So, and I got to be a dad.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Somebody's got to stay home.
Yeah. Somebody got to stay home. And, there's some nights where I got to be, little league baseball coach, and you got to take him to his events too. So, got to let a kid be a kid, right? They love sports, let them do what they do. So, yeah. Yeah,
for sure. Well, just to drill down on that conference one more time. Do you mind me asking you which one was it?
It was a Sunrock Rat Race to Retirement.
Yep. Perfect. So guys, listeners, these national conferences, I'm telling you, they are huge needle movers. Like, they will advance your business in a way, in my opinion, that nothing else can, except for a coach or a mentor or a mastermind. And a conference is going to do it in a different way, right? Because you've got 400 or 600 or 1,000 people at a conference, or even 100 people. That is a new network base for you. That if you are skillful in the conference, you're going to maximize on. Not to mention all the speakers and the inspiration you get from that, and just the elbows you get to rub with. It's just, I can't say enough. For me, like, aside from my own coaching mentor, Corey Peterson, and other help, people that have contributed along the way, I can't think of anything that's been bigger than these national conferences. In my opinion, there's 3 that everybody should go to every year. If you want to know I'll tease you with this. If you want to know which 3 of those are, email me, and I will email you a list of the 3 conferences that I think are critical to go to. And that list also has some books and podcast episodes and other resources on it that I think you'll find helpful. So Tate at glequitygroup.com. So was the first deal that you were the lead sponsor on, this one out of your 10, was this the first time that you'd ever formally raised capital?
Yeah, first one was, and I was a co-sponsor on it, and it was through the Raise Masters community that I connected. Again, another community. Was able to connect with an individual, and they say the communities are large, but they're small, right? So on the first raise that I did, I connected with an individual out in the Raise Master community. Come to find out, he knew individuals in my other community where I was a part of my mastermind. So, that was pretty cool to see as well in the grand scheme of things. So, yeah.
Yeah. So how did you tackle that first raise, and how did it go for you?
It was tough. The timing was at the end of the year. You can imagine 2022. Yeah. And we came in roughly around, mid-November into it, helped convert some individuals to help get the deal closed, as well as investing in ourselves. And we ended up closing on it December 22nd. So nice. We got it done. And, it's like, man, it's stressful, of course, but I was like, man, it's, it was a start. And that start gained momentum. And from that momentum got into the second opportunity within my mastermind that I was participating in at the time. And, we raised a little more capital. So moving the needle of at least 1%, get 1% better every day. So, and that closed in April of this year. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. Talk about what you have built in terms of raising capital. Do you have, your click magnet, landing page, CRM, email automation flow, all that stuff all built out? And is that your primary way of building your list?
In addition to leveraging my social channels. So, for Facebook, I have almost 3,000 friends.
Wow. Yeah.
LinkedIn, 2,500 friends.
Yeah.
Try to go to conferences on a regular, and I'm steadily kind of putting out content, whether I'm in my own market and a small multifamily opportunity kind of comes about, or we're kind of doing tours. I like to bring my 8-year-old with me, right? He's intrigued by it now.
Cool.
And bring him along as well. And, my message is, look, at the age I'm in, it's about the folks who coming behind me, my legacy wealth. Mm-hmm. I'm getting a little older now. So, that's has always kind of been the message, right? Your children can get involved too. If they're interested, bring them along on tours and show them and try to educate them also as well. And, it's been great to see, man. It's been fun.
Yeah. What a gift that you're giving him, and the level of knowledge that he'll have when it comes time for him to be an adult and go out and do his thing. That's awesome. That's awesome. Indeed. That is awesome. So what's next for you, Merv? Are you more into the lead sponsor path, or the LP path, or both? Or I know we all want to be LPs when we grow up, right? Like when we have the capital to invest. LP that is the sweet spot, guys. Like being a limited partner, a passive investor on one of these syndications, you get paid first, you get paid the most, and you don't do any of the work.
Yeah.
Except for wire funds. So, and sign some documents. So I know that I'm sure you're thinking a lot like me in that way, but in terms of like maybe say the next, 2-5 years, what's in store for you?
Talking with my partner, who's my wife, we've agreed that, we need to be doing at least 4 to 6 passive investments a year, at least, whether it's multifamily, self-storage, triple net. We need to be invested in something. So the mindset has changed in my household.
Gotcha.
So, in my opinion, cash is kind of trash. So I need to take my cash, allocate it out, whereas I can get as much depreciation as I can and continually invest, and having that rub off on, hey, my son who's 8, right? But just kind of following the principles of what we've agreed to. So want to, just keep passively investing where appropriate, build our database and get to know other individuals in this space and just continue to build. And I think we've made a lot of headway because we've agreed to divide and conquer.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's been key. So we can cover a lot more ground that way. And, for example, this is what we're in August. I've been to 2 conferences, one in California, one in Texas. So I got back yesterday and got a ton of new contacts. Right, see a bunch of old familiar faces. And, the notion of success leaves clues is so key and critical. So
key. I love that.
So if somebody's on the sideline and look, I'm preaching, I don't want to say preach, but I'm just kind of putting the word out, like on social media. Sure. I love Facebook. I love a quick video. I'm walking the property with my son in my local market. I love my local market. I'm going to keep investing here.
Yeah.
Even though others beg to differ, but Western PA, this is a gem in the gold mine, in my opinion, and I'm not stopping. So now's the time to kind of keep putting putting your foot on the gas. And, I've kind of driven on cruise control from 2005 to like 2019. And we're not doing that anymore. We're putting our foot on the gas and we're going as fast as we can and building cool. Right. So, yeah.
I love it. I love it. You're an inspiration, man. You're very, very inspiring. And you and your wife's partnership is also very inspiring. That whole, the phrase power couple comes to mind when you talk about how you guys work together. I just think that's awesome. Being a single guy, never been married, like I admire that a ton, and I'd love to be a part of that sort of thing someday myself. So sounds like you're blessed, and that you bless a lot of people in the progress of living your life and doing your thing, Merv.
Try, man. Try and just just trying to have that giving spirit, and when they say it comes back tenfold, it really does. So been blessed. Hit a really rough crossroad. 2019, 2020. Sure.
Rough.
It could have went the other way. So real estate kind of saved my family from bankruptcy. And
that is real, man.
It's real.
That's real. Jeez, that's so real. And congratulations, man. I mean, sometimes the biggest victories in life don't necessarily on the surface seem like a big, huge victory, because there's bittersweetness in there. And there's, I'm sure there was a lot of pain in that experience for you. But you survived, man. And you're now look at you. You're 10 syndications, passive investing, lead sponsor, lead GP, social media influencer, bringing people along for the ride, and educating people about economics along the way too. I mean, again, the go-giver concept, you're just it seems to me like you're a natural giver, and that is, it got to be a huge part of your success.
It is. I mean, and hey, it's a change in mindset too. So that's monumental. Yeah. The mindset is just so key, critical. I think different now, but my approach to money, I think about now my approach to kind of thinking about needing to save. It's just a different mentality now. So, and man, I'm just, the light bulb is going off for me like 2 times over, So when I'm teaching econ, I'm telling folks, look, when the light bulb goes off, that's when you're there. And it's just nothing but positive things ever since. Same in my real estate journey, transition to trying to scale, multifamily, self-storage, diversification, right? You mentioned power couple. That's funny that you mentioned that, right? So in my podcast ecosystem, we have a power couple series of me and my wife. We're interviewing husbands and wives, and the good, tell us what the good, the bad, just lay it out there for people to hear.
Yeah.
Because, nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect at all. And there are going to be hurdles and bumps in the road. Trust me, been there. But if you kind of you have faith, right? There's you'll pull through. And I'm a prime example of that.
I think it's really important to not gloss over what you just said. Faith to me has been absolutely central and core to me getting through my hard times. And I've been in some dark places, man, personally and professionally. And one professional situation was it was 2 new development deals that we were doing years ago. And we were building for the first time ever, and we didn't know what we were doing. And we made mistakes that we shouldn't have made. And it ended up being, very painful at the end of those projects. And they took forever. We were building new, and we, again, just didn't have the right help. And a year into these things, we're looking at a framed out building with nothing but wood going, man, our numbers are done. Like, we blew up our numbers in the first year, and we still had a year to go easy to finish building those things at the rate we were going. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. There was no good solution to getting out. And all I was left with was faith, was coming back to like, and I'm not so much talking about religion here, religious faith, or even spirituality. Although I think I'm a very spiritual person, and I identify that way. Yeah. But I'm talking about just like most of us can look back over our lives and go, you know what, for the most part, things pretty much worked out. And if they didn't work out right away, they in the end somehow worked out. And the positives that came out of what we thought was a negative situation often outweigh the negatives. And I just kind of came back to that. And like, you know, for me, it's like, not to get off airy fairy and woo woo, but it's like, you know, I think about like having angels, or, you know, for lack of a better word, kind of spiritual helpers and guides. And I just have a lot of, and then I have a ton of faith in myself and my resourcefulness and my ability to relate to people and to make things happen inside of conversations and relationships. So it came down to like having to choose faith very consciously. And otherwise I was going to be eaten alive by that whole experience. And my partner, quite frankly, I just adore the man, Carl York. He didn't necessarily have the same mindset skills at the time that I had. Mm-hmm. And I would, you know, he would probably say that and admit that. And it was way, way harder on him to go through that whole ordeal than it was for me, because I was able to compartmentalize everything and put it in a box and put it aside every night and go, okay, this is just my work. I'm going to get up tomorrow and do the best that I can. And I'm going to have faith that something good's going to happen. And sure enough, you know, we had 2 apartment communities fall in our lap essentially. And that started our multifamily business. Okay. So, you know, like faith, dude, it's so key.
Yeah.
It's so key.
Got to have it in her, right? Got to have their faith, right? Yeah. I think about, you know, what if I would have got sued by my landlord, right? What if I would have, you know, lost in the arbitration battle? What if I still be bleeding money here today, right? I mean, that was an option, right? If it didn't go quite the way we thought it was. And I couldn't have predicted, in my opinion, a better outcome versus what happened to us. Couldn't have predicted better. So
that's awesome.
You know,
that's so
knock
awesome.
on wood and live to breathe another day, which is cool.
Dude, what a story. I love it.
Yeah.
I love I love how it all worked out. And
yeah, man,
I love how you've got this just tremendous amount of momentum now moving forward. And it's, you know what, Merv, it's not that long ago that all that happened, as you know. Like, I mean, for you to have rebounded and been resilient to this level in this amount of time, that says an awful lot about you.
Yeah, you know, it humbled me pretty quick, right? I've had a string of wind, right? I had all these properties and 10, 12 months, and half of the portfolio was gone.
Yeah.
Again, I knew, I knew what needed to be done. And, and that's where aligning with my partner, my spouse, right? We needed a cash infusion
sure,
really quickly. So, and we did what we needed to do. But again, right, I had a system that I was able to go back to because I knew, you know what, I'll figure out a way to get back. And even if I didn't go to that multifamily seminar, I had a background on the base on the single family front where I can go back and build it again. And I was confident about that. So that's why, of course, right, took a little bit on the chin, but like, you know what, I got the system in place and I kind of know what I need to do to get back to it. So we'll be okay. Yeah. And I'm even keel, man. I'm just, it's going to be okay. So my wife's a little different, right? She's Italian, a little high strung, but just kind of keep calm and we weathered the storm. So pretty cool.
That's a tremendous quality as an entrepreneur. Just evenness, lack of reactivity. The ability to be responsible and respond to situations, but not react to situations, and not let them get to you, because you're not doing anybody any good, especially yourself, when you let stuff eat at you like that. And in fact, you're disempowering yourself by bringing your energy down, in my opinion. So
true.
Yeah.
So true.
Dude, this has been so good. One last question for you.
Sure.
If you could go back to let's say the 2012-ish, 2011-ish time frame, and could just take, 5 minutes and coach yourself and give yourself advice that you now have the wisdom and the experience to give yourself, what would that be?
Sure. If I could turn back the clock and go back to, say, 2012, I would tell myself, you know what? Invest, diversify. I didn't know what I didn't know at the time, but maybe I could have been, getting a little more curious and see what else is out there.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish I would have gotten the real estate syndications in 2012, 2013.
I know, right? I know.
I wish.
I know. All of us do. Just give us 5 years sooner. 5
years, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, I mean, I wasn't as savvy.
Yeah.
On the tax law at the time. I was of the mindset, let me just pay a little bit. They're off my back. I'm good.
Right.
That mindset has changed. I don't want to give up. No, it's not about what you make, what you keep. So I would go back, tell myself, diversify. Get diversified.
Get diversified. Yeah. That's the name of the podcast, everybody. Get diversified. Yeah. So look that up on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, the podcast Get Diversified. Look up Melvin Landry, Landry, on all the important social medias. Connect with him there. Merv, any other places to connect with you? Any other good ways to reach you? That's the best.
Man, you covered them all. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. You can get to me via my website, More Land Equity.
More Land Equity. Yep.
.com. And no need to dash. All one word. More Land Equity.
Yep.
And I'm I'm frequent visitor of conferences, trying to build network, get to know people, and just kind of continue to build it. And at the end of the day, man, be a steward in the community, keep giving back, and keep sharing the word. I'm gonna keep screaming and preaching and teaching about the benefits of real estate until I'm blue in the face, even though I'm brown. So we will leave it at that, because you know what? Again, it's been a savior for me. It saved my family from bankruptcy. And man, I can't say anymore. Get diversified.
Get diversified. Awesome. Yeah. We'll leave it right there.
Yep.
Murph, thank you so much. This has been tremendous. Just awesome. Listeners, hope you got a lot out of this, and hope that you can steal some of Merv's mojo, because he's got some good mojo, man, some good energy. And so go check out the YouTube channel so you can get more of that, and connect with him on the social medias. And again, guys, your network is your net worth. Think about ways to increase your network. And, connecting with people like guests on these podcasts is a wonderful way of doing that. We all want to hear from you. We all want to be connected to you. So take us up on that. And we'll leave it right there. Murph, thanks again, man.
Hey, Tate, appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
You bet. Listeners, thank you. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.
This has been the Apartment Gurus with Tate Siemer. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. To contact Tate, go to www.investwithgreenlight.com for access to his investor portal and Calendly link. He loves to hear from you and thanks you for being a valued listener. Just a reminder that you are the guru. See you on the next episode of the Apartment Gurus.